lies about your friends?
Have I told lies about friends? I could have. I don't know.
Do you tell lies about your friends about a case of national importance?
Objection, that's to...
All right, overruled. I could have. I don't know.
What do you make of that, Lee?
I could have. I don't know.
He didn't recall a lot.
He didn't recall a lot. I mean, there were some things, I'm sorry, that you should recall if you knew about them. Like, you could say, I have no idea, but to say I do not recall things like sexual activity in an office, for example, it seems a little bit far-fetched. I think there's a reason why people don't trust what's happening against when you think about all the Trump cases, and this is one of many of the reasons.
If he admits that he knew that they were a couple before the Trump investigation started, then that suggests that Fani Willis and Nathan Wade lied under oath.
So which is it? Did he lie to the Trump defense team, or is he lying now in court when he says, I was speculating, I don't know nothing? Let's get into this.
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. This is the Afternoon Drive. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That'll give you notification of my rants, my ravings, and yes, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Hey, please like and share this video. That's how we get the word out that we're here. Thank you for helping us grow our channel. Please tell your friends about the Afternoon Drive. So Terrence Bradley took the stand on Tuesday, and of course, this has just opened up even bigger of a Pandora's box because at one point, the Trump defense team accused him of looking at Nathan Wade and the state, waiting for them to make their objections and kind of give him signals as to how to respond. Then he spent the rest of the time just kind of staring down. But simple yes and no answers were not coming. There were long pauses and feigning for how do I say this without getting myself even in bigger trouble. So here's the bottom line. Terrence Bradley, one-time associate of Nathan Wade, the lover of Fani the Willis, and he was representing Nathan Wade in his divorce. Now, he let the Trump team know, look, Fani and Nathan were doing the dirty long before she hired him and brought him on as the prosecutor to go after former President Donald Trump. Now, that becomes a conflict of interest that Fani, who was herself bankrupt and in financial trouble and had liens against her, brings on her boyfriend as a subcontracting attorney to which she pays $700,000 of the taxpayers' money out of Fulton County, Georgia. And she is the recipient of lavish, luxurious travel and perks, etc., that he paid for, that she claims to have paid back in cash with not a one receipt, not one, nothing. And with the affair beginning before she appoints him, it is a huge conflict of interest, a personal financial gain for her. Their claim is there was an affair, it didn't last long, it flared up and flared right out again, but it was after they were working so closely together at midnight and 1 a.m. because he was part of her kitchen cabinet council. Yeah, in other words, were you having sex on the never mind, I didn't want to go there. So Bradley was reaching out to the Trump defense team saying, no, they hooked up a year or more before anything to do with President Donald Trump. Now he's walking that all back, saying he speculated. speculated?
You told me that their relationship started when she left the DA's office and was a judge in South Fulton. Where did you obtain that knowledge from?
I was speculating. I didn't have a no one told me I was speculating.
No one told you that?
No one told me that.
You were speculating based on things that had been told to you or things you had observed?
So I'm going to object as to the nature of this line of questioning, because the witness has made it clear he was speculating as to how or what he knew. And if it's speculation, it's inadmissible before this court.
All right, but the motivations for his reason for speculating would be admissible, so I'll overrule that.
Thank you, Judge. Was this speculation, when you told me that, was that based on things that had been told to you and things that you had witnessed?
I never witnessed anything. So, it was speculation. I can't tell you anything specific, if that's what you're asking.
So one of the other Trump attorneys, Sadow, jumped all over this, speculated. You really have us believe that you're just speculating? You're either lying to get yourself out of trouble with Fani and Nathan because they got the goods on you. And remember now, he was an associate of Nathan Wade, and Nathan Wade fired him. He claims he just moved on to do other things, but supposedly there is this idea that maybe he raped a girl in the office. Now, do I think Nathan Wade would hold this over and said, hey, we let you skate on rape charges. You throw me and Fani under the bus, those rape charges come back. Is that why Terrence is speculating, changing his story? Remember now, I come from a part of the world. I'm originally from New York. And when you saw something, and a certain somebody might pay you a visit to tell you you didn't see nothing. Didn't matter what you saw. At that point, after that visit, you didn't see nothing. And I'm telling you, that is exactly what this looks like. That Bradley's got himself in a whammy jam here, because if he actually steps up and tells the truth, he's going to face rape charges. If he doesn't tell the truth, he faces perjury charges and disbarment charges. I think they just ought to be disbarred so that we can finally get to the truth. But Sadow, one of the attorneys for Trump, jumped all over this.
Maybe, again, it's because you know what the truth is, and that's why you answered exactly the way you did in Defense Exhibit 26, correct?
No, I can't sit here and tell you that what you just stated was correct.
Right. What you want the court to believe, and you want the rest of us to believe, is that for some unknown reason, upon being asked a direct question about when the relationship started, you decided on your own to simply speculate and put it down in a text message as opposed to putting down what you actually knew. That's what you want the court to believe, correct?
That was a lot. So can you break that down? I apologize. You're asking me, do I want the court to
believe that instead of saying nothing, you decided on your own to speculate.
Yes, I speculated. Yes, I've stated that I speculated. Yes, sir.
You know you have a credibility issue when even MSNBC ain't buying it.
Mr. Wade told you that they had sex at the office, though, correct?
I don't recall him stating that, no.
You don't recall it?
No.
So it's possible he did say that? You just don't remember one way or another?
I do not remember him saying that.
was 2 pages of text messages between you and Miss Merchant, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, the first page starts off by saying, Miss Merchant, like, just date, don't hire him. Do you think it started before she hired him? You see that?
Yes, I see it. Yes.
And your response to that was absolutely, correct?
I'm going to object, ask and answer in cumulative.
All right. So.
Well, I think we know now, Alex, that Terrence Bradley exchanged texts with Ashley Merchant, she's Mike Roman's attorney, where he offered up a bunch of information about the relationship between Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. Today, he is trying to walk that back and say that he didn't have any personal knowledge, including when the relationship started, he never saw them together, that any knowledge he had about the relationship came from a single conversation with Nathan Wade. But the defense is trying to establish you knew that this woman represented a defendant in the Fulton County RICO case. You knew why she was asking you these questions. She even gave you a draft of her motion to disqualify. And if there had been something patently false in there, you're a lawyer. You would have told her as much, wouldn't you? And he at one point said, well, I can't say I would or I wouldn't have. But they have established that he fully understood what they were doing with the information that he provided, and that he has an obligation to tell the truth today. And the bottom line, Alex, is there really is no in-between. He was either lying and or speculating when he confessed to Ashley Merchant by text, or he is covering up for D.A. Willis and Nathan Wade.
MSNBC, who loves Joe Biden, is suffering from permanent Trump derangement syndrome, hates, loathes, and despises Donald Trump, MAGA, conservative values, traditional faith and values, hates it all. And yet, even they look at this and say, all of these people should just be gone. This is an absolute disaster, to which even Jake the Tapper at CNN refuses to carry the water on this one.
Colleague and friend, CNN anchor, senior legal analyst Laura Coates. Laura, so bottom line, do you think the witness, Mr. Bradley, do you think his testimony has undermined Fani Willis's credibility?
I think it has undermined the credibility of the arguments made by both Nathan Wade, and also Fani Willis for these reasons. First of all, here's why we're here. This person, you may recall, was already called to testify about a week and a half ago. The reason he left is because of the attorney-client privilege. Now, you know, if you are actually communicating with your attorney in furtherance of getting legal advice, it is privilege, and that privilege belongs to the client, not the attorney. The judge had what was called an in-camera discussion. That's a fancy way of saying, you and I are going to talk one-on-one with no one present. I'm going to determine whether or not your conversations that you had should fall within that privilege. The judge made a ruling. They said, look, as it relates to communications about whether there was a relationship between Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, that ain't privileged. You can testify to it. He doesn't want to be here for that reason. So now he's being asked questions about that. And now he's got a kind of convenient amnesia. He doesn't recall a lot of different details. He comes across as somebody who was gossiping with the attorney that's bringing this disqualification proceeding, that he was aware that the motion was about gathering information. And nonetheless, he disclosed that he says that they were engaged in a relationship earlier than they said. But now today he says it was all speculation, all speculation. He had no personal knowledge. And he kept using a phrase, anything I learned was from my client, which became synonymous with Nathan Wade was the one who told me. Now, there was a really important moment with Sadow. That is the attorney for Donald Trump. Remember, this is the one who is saying, look, I don't believe anything you have to say. He asked him, wait a second, you're speculating? You were asked by an attorney that you knew was representing a co-defendant in this case, and in return you offer speculation. Why not just say, if you really didn't know, I don't know? He offered no sound explanation as to why. The judge seems throughout this entire proceeding a little impatient compared to the first time we saw this entire thing. Why? Because he wants them to focus on the specific nature of the testimony. And remember, Jake, we're all here not because this is some sort of Real Housewives episode or we are just nosy. It is because they're asking to disqualify Fani Willis based on a conflict of interest that would make a defendant impossible to have a fair trial.
Well, Fani and her boy toy will be back on the witness stand on Friday. And one can only hope that this judge who, it's tough to get a read on him. We know that he gave money to Fani when she was running. We know that he apprenticed under her at one point in his career. And at times, he seems to be helping her. And yet there are times that definitely he doesn't buy anything coming out of the mouth of Terrence Bradley. He has allowed the Trump team to introduce a lot of extra evidence here. And I'll tell you, these text messages are explosive. And Fani and Nathan absolutely do not want these text messages being revealed to the world. These are game-changing. These are explosive because she can say all she wants about, oh, yeah, we would text, but it was about work. Well, let's see him. If he's talking about your body and how much he loves being with you, that ain't work. When his cell phone is being pinged at your place between midnight and 5 a.m., that's not work. That's a midnight booty call for Fani. So we will see, will this judge actually do the right thing? Or will he kind of do the right thing? And the kind of do the right thing is like we see where, the DOJ releases its report on Biden and they fully acknowledge, yeah, he was negligible in these documents. These documents were no protocols for safety and security, and he had them everywhere and anywhere, and this is he took them without any authorization, but he's an old man with memory problems. Kind of like Hillary Rodham Clinton. Well, yeah, there was a problem with this server, but no prosecutor would ever pick this up. So what's the judge going to say? Is he going to say, yeah, this is a salacious, horrendous affair, and I'm going to fine them that they've got to pay the money back, but doesn't mean they're disqualified from going after the former president. So we'll see. We'll see. More drama to come.